What is your will, my master?
Hey, what's up, Chris? This is a quick demo video for you for your 89 Sabers Fallen. This was nicely powder coated by Christopher Royal, and then it was weathered by Austin Dowdy, and then sent over to me for an install. You got a Proffie in here. It's a 2-button setup, so your main switch right here is your activation, and then this little tactile switch on the bottom is your auxiliary, and then you've got CC Sabers for your main PCB. One thing to note about this hilt in particular, is this auxiliary switch. Um, it has a tendency to come out on some people. It's happened to me in the past. It's happened to a lot of other people in the past where you send it out, it's all installed. You play with this for a while, it comes unscrewed, and then it's a bad day. Um, there's only like a thread and a half to grab onto with this button for the piece on the underside. So I put just a little bit of thread lock on there. I tried to get it on there the best I can, but don't come over here and start trying to playing with it and untwisting it or twisting it to the left, right? Because it will come off maybe. Um, Tiny bit of thread lock so that it wouldn't get into the chamber and the actuator piece, but it hopefully stays on the underside that I had to screw it on. That has been a constant pain for many people on this particular saber. So I just want to bring that to your attention. How to get to everything is you want to just unscrew the handle. So we'll do that. It slides right out, and then here's your chassis. It says Fallen Order over here in Airbesh. Solo Sabers over here for me. And you've got a Smugglers Outpost emblem right here. And then you've got a 28 millimeter Smugglers Outpost Elite speaker. And then I like to put a little added pixel on the back end of this so that I can light up this pommel area here. There's a bunch of cutouts, and I'll show you that here in a second. So I just make a little pixel holder so it's not just floating out there, right? And that's what that is, and it's glued to the speaker right in front of the speaker, and that stays there. And then you've got a removable battery setup. So spring side here is your negative. To get to the board, it's a little tricky. It just takes a little. It takes a little bit of getting used to. This saber actually has 2 of these greeblies. You've got one here, and you've got one here that I'm going to leave off. I'm leaving this one off because the set screw that is closest to the emitter. So this guy right here out of the 3, right? This guy right here is your chassis retention, right? The other 2 over here, they actually help hold this coupler on. So you don't want to mess with those. You just want to mess with this one that's closest to the emitter. You unscrew that a little bit, slide out this chassis enough to get to your SD card and your board, do what you need to do with your config, and then snap the board down and slide it back in. But there's a lot of stuff that has to happen. The 2 switches for your activation and your auxiliary, they're part of my chassis design. They're not stationary inside the saber. That means this chassis, when it gets pushed back into the saber, it has to be pushed in exactly in alignment. So as you can see right now, the top of the board here is, if I can hold it right, the top of the board is lined up with that greebly and straight up to this switch, right? That it's a straight shot, and that's how it needs to be. It can't be crooked. If it's crooked, it's not going to push all the way in, because I have those switches right up on the underside of these little plungers here. So it has to be pulled out straight, do what you need to do, and then push back straight. If you find that you're having trouble putting this chassis back, what I like to do if I'm doing it is I'll take these 2 shrouds off, and then I will loosen up the 2 set screws that I have that are holding my PCB holder, and pull out my chassis, do what I need to do, and then as I'm pushing it back in, right before I do that, I'll do all this, right? I'll loosen everything up, and then as I'm pushing the chassis in this way, I'll let the PCB holder kind of come forward a bit, and then when I've got my chassis in place, then I'll push my PCB holder back. There's a little bit of wire slack that I left in the middle here so that this chassis could be pulled out to access the board. And so sometimes that's how I put the chassis back. You know, as you push the chassis this way, the PCB holder is going to want to go forward a bit, and that's fine. Just with your finger, let it go forward a little bit, but not too much, right? And then clamp everything together and then tighten down the set screws for your PCB holder. I hope that all made sense. That's kind of why I do these videos. So in case you need to watch it again, it's easy for me, but I've done a lot and I designed it. So if you have any questions, let me know and we can go over it again, you know, when you get the Saber. So anyway, what else did I want to go over? Oh, the battery is going to be super tight in this guy. Usually you will see on previous versions I've done, my wires are exposed right here. I am trying to cover those wires going forward as much as I can on my builds. So I did that here too, but in hindsight, the battery had a little bit more room if I didn't have the shrink tube on the wires. And there's so many wires there because I got an extra 3 wires coming past this slot for this extra pixel accent back here, but it's worth it, right? So I'll show you how to throw the battery in. I did take my battery and I took the sticker off of it, right? So you take your Keep Power sticker off of it, or whatever battery sticker you have on it, take it off, and we'll throw a battery in, just like that. And then when I'm putting this handle on, come over here with my thumb right here on your positive side of your battery, and just kind of push it in the handle a little bit. So once you get past that initial spot, that edge of the battery, making it past those threads like that, it's easy, right? So if I wasn't talking through it, I'll just do it like this. And it goes right on. Super tight fit because there's some cram food going on for those wires. But I think it adds a pretty cool effect to the back of the Saber. We'll screw this handle on all the way. Oh, I forgot to tell you, once you do everything you need to do with your config, and there is a copy of your config that I used on your SD card, you can take some E6000 or something and you can put that other greebly on here. I'm just not going to send it out like that to make it easy for you to get to the chassis. So we'll turn the slide off. You have motion controls. So get your LEDs firing up nicely there. And then this is what I like to do to the pommel area. So it just looks like broken circuitry, right? This does not have battle mode on it. I am debating whether or not to even put battle mode on any of the Sabers that I do going forward because I'm having a little bit of issues trying to clock the sensitivity lately. So this doesn't have battle mode on it, but of course you can do whatever you want. So this is your power. Auxiliary down here. And then of course, you know, to get blade lock up, you have to hold down auxiliary and hit the Saber at the same time. Like that. And then as soon as you let go of the auxiliary button, the blade lockup stops. But we'll throw a blade in here real quick. You do have a blade retention screw right here. I'm not going to use it because my blade fits in here pretty tight. So 1-inch diameter NeoPixel blade, right? Plenty loud. Calibrated blaster bolt deflex. There's your blade lock up right there. To get to your soundtrack, you just hold down your power for 1 second and let go. You do the same thing to turn it off. And I just have the one sound font on there so that I could demo the Saber because I know that you'll be doing your own thing to the config and all that. But yeah, so swing on, twist off, or we could just use activation. And use activation again to turn it off. Just like that. And we'll go ahead and take the blade out and take the battery out. Super simple. We'll just take the handle off. And then from the positive side of the battery here by your speaker, you can pop it out with your finger just like that. And that, sir, is pretty much your saber. Let me know if you got any questions, and let me know if you'd like to keep your box or not, because the saber installed does not fit in the box. Some people don't mind me throwing them away. Other people want to keep them. So I just need to know, what your preference is. All right, thanks.